Yo, what's up, everybody? Savage 5050 here. How is everybody doing tonight? All right. It's a beautiful Sunday. Yep. Comments are on. Anyway, there's so much going on in the country right now. So much going on with Ukraine, Russia, the trucker boycott in Canada. Is just so much that we need to discuss. I got my man Isaac Hayes from Brothers This Searching / Cajun Conservative, who's going to be joining me shortly. Yeah, so hold on. Let's see. All right, hold on. Just getting set up, guys. Anyway, what do y'all think about that? The swimmer, Leah Thomas. Leah Thomas, I believe is his name. He's out there breaking national records in college right now, I believe, and he's like just destroying these women. Like this guy is literally swimming back and forth, doing laps so quick. He's getting done, getting showered, and getting dressed right in his nice suit. And the women are still in a swimming pool. That's how fast he is. This guy, I think he was a male swimmer professionally for a while too, where he competed on a real high level and he was actually winning. He was actually competing and actually doing pretty well in the men's division. But this is happening all around, like all around sports now. Like you got heavy hitters like power lifters. They're out there is competing as women, but in reality, they're really men. But they want everybody to live in their delusional world and go along with their BS. We live in a crazy, messed up society. That's like, I just don't understand how we're going along with it as people. We got my man Isaac Hayes. He gonna join the stream. We're gonna talk a little bit about everything. Hey, Isaac, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, what's going on, Nate? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. How's Sunday going for you?
Doing good, Nate. I just wanted to let you know you are on Facebook Live as well tonight, man.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I didn't even know it.
Yeah, man. I've been telling my audience we're about to start talking. So hey, how you doing, my brother? What's going on?
Oh, I'm doing well, man. I'm appreciating life right now. It's a blessing to be alive today, you know.
Oh, that's all. That's what it's about, man. That's what it's about.
Yeah, and I dropped the link in the in the chats because I'm starting to try a new thing. So sometimes maybe some of the audience might want to interact or maybe join in, and because I did a live yesterday and I had one of my supporters come in and they gave a couple of comments, so that was pretty dope.
Yeah, man. And look, hey, Nate, technology, bro. Technology, dude. Let's just say that. Remember when we first started, we started off with the Facebook Live, and then we got to YouTube Live. Now we're both together on both our platforms. Ain't that amazing, dude? That both our audience can hear our beautiful voices, to see our lovely faces.
Yeah, that's so awesome, man. It's cool because we're like both hosting together. Like you're hosting on your end and I'm hosting on mine.
Oh, well, we co-hosting, man. We co-hosting.
Yeah. Definitely. I didn't even plan on going live tonight, but it's I did mention it. I was like, I don't know if I am or not, but then you hit me up and I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. Because there's so much going on. There's so much to discuss.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing, bro. It's a lot going on, and where's our leaders? That's one question I gotta ask. We know where Biden is. He's in Delaware, probably eating some ice cream somewhere.
Yeah.
But man, it's just Ukraine, bro. I mean, have you been following everything this week on that?
I've been seeing some crazy stuff that I can't even believe is true. I don't think I ever witnessed anything like that besides 9/11, where I literally seen on the news, like there was jets flying through Ukraine, like dropping bombs, shooting like right to the ground, like people coming out of the buildings with limbs missing, blood all over their face, and paramedics picking people up. I actually seen a video where there was like a Russian army tank over there, and it like completely like ran this lady
Yeah,
over
you've
in her
seen
car.
that.
And
You've seen that.
luckily she lived, as far as I understand. But
I thought it was a guy. I thought it was a guy.
maybe it was. But whatever is going on, like they are really out there to dominate, and I believe that Russia will take Ukraine, although they are arming some of the Ukrainians are actually getting armed by the government. See, a well-regulated militia. That shows you how important the Second Amendment is.
But Nate, that's I want to say something though. Do you think? Look, if it's over a long haul, I think Russia would take over.
You ain't God
Ukraine.
said you was right. He said it was a guy.
Oh, it was a guy. Okay, but Nate, I got a question to ask you though, my brother. Do you maybe, just maybe, Ukraine might hold them off? Because look, I thought right at the jump, I was like, man, this ain't gonna work. Ukraine's gonna fall within a matter of days. But like you said, the will of the people, dude. Man, and like you bringing up the Second Amendment. Me and I have a guest on for tomorrow, and we were talking about this. All you people that are on the left that want to get rid of the Second Amendment, look to Ukraine. Just imagine if the government would have said, no, we're going to keep the guns. We're going to fight our own battles. Dude, this would have been over the first night.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It would have been over right away, immediately. I mean, this is such proof of why conservatives are on the right side. Like,
yes,
we need these firearms to protect ourselves from foreign threats, especially when you're dealing with a weak administration like the one we have going on now, where we got Kamala Harris, who's supposed to be in charge of our borders, and she's not even protecting us from foreign threats. People, they claim they care so much about the C virus, they're letting people cross right over the borders to the United States, unvaccinated, unvetted, to do whatever they want. And we all know a lot of people that's coming to the country of the United States illegally are committing crimes out the roof.
Yeah, it's man, like I just said earlier, our weak leadership, man. That's what I'm seeing, man. We don't know where Kamala Harris is. We don't know. We know where Joe Biden is. He is in Delaware, I guess, taking a nap and eating ice cream. Not 100% sure, but dude, it just man. To be honest with you, I think if we didn't have this weak leadership, I don't think Ukraine would have got invaded by Russia. That's just my humble opinion on that.
Yeah, I if Donald Trump would have been still our commander in chief, this never would have happened. They always say that, oh, he was part of the Russian collusion and he's working with Putin. He's best friends with Putin. Honestly, we right now have the most pro-Russia administration in the United States than we ever had in this country before.
Oh, absolutely. Look, Trump went ahead and sanctioned Nord Stream and opened Keystone, which was good for our country. Then Joe Biden gets in there and does totally opposite, said, hey, the environment's bad and we need to go ahead and make sure that we protect our, don't make global cooling or global warming, global climate change, whatever it is, and say, well, look, we're going to go ahead and get rid of the Nord Stream. We're going to get rid of Keystone, but we're going to go ahead and open up Nord Stream. And I guess they're not worried about climate change. They just want money out there. And Germany and America just opened that up. Now they want to sanction it. And look, it's kind of funny that Putin wanted to activate or do something with the nuclear codes after they sanctioned him from getting his Swiss account and all that. But before, the heck on Russia, as long as I make my money, now he wants to have a fight on his hands.
Yeah. It's so sad. Like, I think that Vladimir Putin do you know? Let me ask you: do you feel like Vladimir Putin, in his mind, he feel completely justified for what he's doing? He feel like he's entitled to Ukraine to be part of Russia.
Well, he's a socialist, so I guess if he dictator, socialist, wherever you want to say,
you think he feels like he's actually a villain?
Well, according to our mindset, yeah. I think it's dumb that you have a guy that's going to run around and take over a country that didn't do him nothing. I can understand if Ukraine went to attack or invaded, that would have been a different story. Or if there was building weapons of mass destruction, but Putin said that the reason he went attack because they believed wrong. Well, only ones that do that are socialists and communists. If you don't believe the way they believe, look what he did to the protesters. Look what he did to the protesters that were protesting the war. I think last count was like 2,000-3,000, give or take. So yeah, it's
Putin, you ain't wrong. Said Putin is a communist.
Oh, I agree with him. He was former KGB, and
he was in the military and everything, right?
Yeah, well, he was part of this old Soviet Union, and that's one reason why he went to attack Ukraine, because Ukraine was part of that old Soviet Union. So he wanted to go ahead and take it back for his to rebuild his kingdom, apparently.
Yeah, that's what's going on. But what should we be concerned about here in the United States? Should it affect us? Should Americans be worried, or should it be nothing to us to worry about?
We should worry about our leadership. That's what I'm saying. I hate to say it. This should have never happened. It should have never happened, but under the Biden administration, which he's been there for 13 months, he's about to have a State of the Union address. I don't know what he's going to say is good. He didn't send no aid to them until like the very last minute. I think now I heard they're sending like 350 million or whatever. They're sending weapons, and countries are helping Ukraine out. My biggest fear would be Putin trying to send a nuke. I know we have defenses or try to get out of it, but that'll be my only fear. And I'm just afraid that China's going to see Taiwan and say, well, we can go ahead and take it. Biden ain't going to stop us, because you remember, Nate, originally the sanctions that the whole country and the countries that put upon him, they went ahead and they weren't working. It didn't affect Russia at all. Now that it dipped into Swiss and all that other stuff, it's starting to hit their banking account now. So we're gonna see what happens. But yeah, I really leadership. You don't know what's gonna happen if our leadership don't step up.
Exactly. I wanted to share a little bit a video of a little bit of a news story of like images of what's going on out there real quick.
All right.
It was unprovoked, but this is what Russian President Vladimir Putin unleashed on Ukraine as the sun came up this morning. A missile striking an industrial park in western Ukraine. A helicopter assault on an airport outside of Kiev. Close, intense fighting. And there are civilian casualties. Local officials say this apartment building was struck in eastern Ukraine. Heartbreaking images of people bloodied, staggering out of their homes. And this is what remains of another family's apartment, a baby stroller among the debris. We traveled to this Ukrainian military installation near the eastern port city of Mariupol.
This radar station took a direct hit. Russia is picking off Ukraine's military facilities one after another, but Ukrainian troops are fighting back, and Russia is also suffering losses here.
Ukraine says it's destroyed some Russian tanks using American-supplied missiles, that this is a damaged Russian helicopter, and that it has captured some Russian soldiers.
Okay, so obviously, Ukraine, you're right. They're not going out that easy as some people may have expected, because clearly they actually got some Russian soldiers based off of that video. They're holding them hostage as well. So, they're putting on a fight. It's not over.
Yeah, and I think Putin had bit off more than he could chew onto that part of it. The reason
Rodriguez, we're happy to see you too. How you doing?
Happy to see you. Welcome to the live stream. This, like I said, I think Putin bit off more than he could chew, or he underestimated the ladies and gentlemen of Ukraine, because first off, we was talking about. I don't think he was waiting on the resistance to have firearms. The government said, hey, we're going to put martial law. And when we make martial law, we're just going to give you all weapons. And if you want to fight, you stay in your house and you fight. I don't think Russia knew that was going to happen. I heard a story from a missionary one time. Somebody asked him, well, why don't the cartel come into America and try to take over America or try to take over cities? And the missionary said, the Mexican said, well, this is the thing. And the cartel knows they can come and hit our door and we don't have weapons. They don't know what they're going on the other side of that door. So Russia wasn't ready for them to have weapons. And Zelensky, man, what a guy with some guts in him, man, to stay in his capital city with his cabinet and tell him, look, y'all want to take over the city? Fine, I'm not running. He's better than the Afghanistan prime minister that said, hey, the Taliban's coming, I'm running. This is saying, hey, they coming, I'm staying. And he's staying along the side of his forces. So,
hey, that's real patriotic of him. I mean, you know how it is back in the day, like the pirates, they stay on their ship even when it's sinking.
Until it goes down. Now, Nate, I want to ask you this, though. Doesn't this remind you of like the American spirit? I know we were young when 9/11 happened, but don't you remember 9/11 when it happened? Everyone just stood their ground and they said, listen, we're not Republican, we're not Democrat, we are Americans. And look, the enlistments went up. There was unity in Congress for once. And look, that's what I'm feeling in Ukraine. They're fighting for their country.
Right now, allegedly, they're not allowing Ukrainian men, I believe anybody that's under the age of 80 to leave, because they want their Ukrainian men to actually fight and help protect their land. I think it's like they're going all the way up to anybody that's 80 and under has to stay.
Something I said earlier, and like I said, I have a show tomorrow morning that's going to be out in a few hours. I said it on the podcast. There's a lot of refugees leaving this country, but a lot of them ain't men. They're women and children. I think it's a lot of men telling their families, hey, y'all get the safety, and I'm going to go ahead and stay and fight for the country. And it's paying off, man. They don't know, you can count how many Ukrainian soldiers they have, but you can't really say how many real soldiers there is, because there's a lot of civilians fighting. And like I said, the government told them, here's the weapons, take it. And it was Zelensky. I heard earlier, the quote was, hey, don't send us support, just send us bullets. Or sorry, don't send me a vehicle, send me bullets. He's holding up to the finish, and they're holding on. I haven't got the news yet. I haven't looked at the live reports yet, but I'm guessing, because they're 7 hours ahead of us, so they've been throughout the night already. And that's when Russia's been attacking at night.
And what do you think about You Ain't Wrong said Russia sent in their rookies. Now the pros are coming in.
Well, Russia got too many military personnel in there. No, it wouldn't surprise me that they sent the newbies the first one, but I'm not, I haven't really heard anything about it, but if I'm not mistaken, I think they only sent 100,000 men into there, and the Ukrainians for the last 4 days have killed a lot of them. So, what I'm thinking is a lot of people see that we have weak leadership in the United States. And I think that's the reason why all of this stuff is occurring, because think about it. Nobody has no respect for our commander in chief. Putin is now best friends with President Xi, and China's really not a big fan of the United States. Let's keep it real. Besides LeBron James, they don't care about us. And what about North Korea? Kim Jong-un, like all three of them teamed up as allies with Sleepy Joe Biden. What are we supposed to expect next? Well, and that's the thing too. Militarily, we can keep up with all three countries. We got thanks to President Trump, we got one of the best militaries in the world. The only thing I didn't like, he put in it was raising the debt, but the way that his plan worked, if he would have been reelected going into his next 4 years, he was going to try to bring down the debt by other means. Unfortunately, he was put into office. Joe Biden was put into the presidency, and Donald Trump couldn't finish his term. But thanks to Donald Trump, we have one of the best militaries out there. But that's like having a Super Bowl winning team with a bad head coach. It just don't work. And that's where we at right now, man. That's why I said what's going to stop China from going into Taiwan? What's going to stop Iran from making a nuclear weapon? If they're not scared of Biden, I promise you. And this is why I got on Fox News. Biden administration dismisses calls to increase oil production at home as price soars. Now, a lot of people, he's trying to blame the Ukrainian crisis on the war that's happening right now, but that's not all that. Them prices were going up way before that. Which I'm going to ask you before the end of the night: was the gas prices situation on your end in New Jersey?
New Jersey right now is $4 for regular gas.
See, we're at 350, 375 right now. So we're pretty close.
Master D says Ukraine should have never gave up their nuclear weapons.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, it is what it is, right? I mean, people learning from their mistakes now. You ain't wrong. Putin was pissed because there was a broken deal of Ukraine joining NATO.
Yes, that is true. I don't know if you heard about that, Nate. NATO. Imagine this: if Ukraine would have joined NATO, and I think their motto is one for all for one, whatever, like the Three Musketeers or whatever. And their policy is one gets attacked, they send in troops to go fight. Could you imagine Russia going up against how many? I think like 20 to 30 countries that are in NATO. I don't think Russia would have had a chance if all their military personnel would have went in.
No, I don't think so. Well, here's the thing. So, in your opinion, you believe that Ukraine will stand their ground, they will keep their country, they will stay a democracy.
I'm not going to guarantee it, but the way it's looking right now, because they threw Putin a curveball, and he didn't know what was. Because remember, Putin's master plan was supposed to be 48 hours. He said in 48 hours, he was going to be the leader of Ukraine. Ukraine was going to be back in Mother Russia, and then the president, I think, is the backbone of the country right now for Ukraine, because he said, no, we're going to fight to the death. And it inspired his people to say, well, we're going to go ahead and keep on fighting. With that being said, they're holding their ground. And look, Nate, it goes like this. I think the people of Ukraine are pretty upset at Putin because Putin said that Ukraine did not want to be under Zelensky's rule, that it was a dictatorship. They wanted to come back to Russia, but all Ukraine voted in Zelensky. He's loved now. You get what I'm saying? More. So they have freedom. Russia, you don't have freedom. So that's why I think the people are fighting too. They don't want to give up their freedom.
Well, anybody that runs against Putin, they come up missing, so he doesn't really have any competition. UN Rome said NATO activated their fast response team of 40,000 troops.
Did they go? Did they go to Ukraine though? I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, me neither. What was you saying before that?
I forgot. Old age is getting to me.
Yeah, it's all good.
Nah, but yeah, man, it's what's going on in Ukraine, man. I pray for them people, bro. It's
okay.
It's sad, man. It's just like the images you showed a while ago. That just
yeah. I've never seen anything that graphic since like 9/11. I mean, where you literally see people like they're just they was just torn apart, and I believe that the attack was I don't know. I can't necessarily say it was unexpected because there was a lot of people that predicted it. I know on my YouTube channel, I made a video about like, yes, they are planning to attack, So I kind of seen it coming, but Hey, you never know.
I seen it coming too. If you listen to the Cajun Conservative, I did it all the time too. I was saying, look, it's going to happen eventually. Just don't know when. So it wasn't really a big surprise to me when I woke up on Tuesday morning and heard that the attacks started advancing. It just let's just pray for Zelensky. Let's pray because didn't they have peace talks today or something like that. They were supposed to or something.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I didn't hear. Oh, I didn't see anything. Let me move my hat out the way so people can see my face.
Yeah, man. Hey, shout out where people can find you real quick.
Oh, you can find me on the web at the Cajun Conservative Show.wordpress.com. You can find me at Brothers Just Searching Podcast.wordpress.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify, and Anchor, Rumble, YouTube, all that good stuff, man. We got I'm all over the place. I'm Brothers Just Searching on YouTube and on the Cajun Conservative on Rumble.
Yeah, one of my followers, Anna Rodriguez, I think she's here watching now, and I think she actually told me she subscribed to Brothers Just Searching.
Well, the last time me and Anthony came on your show, we got bumped up. We had 4 or 5 new subscribers within a couple of hours. I was like, wow, this teaming up thing works.
Yeah. I guess I'm I'm working my way up, man. Hey, we got to help each other, man. If I could get you one subscriber, that's always good.
While we're doing that, for the Facebook audience that are listening on the Cajun Conservative, Nate, tell them where they can find you at, man.
You can find me right here on YouTube, Savage 5050, Savage 5050, right here on YouTube. Real easy to find.
Oh yeah, you don't have no Facebook page or nothing like that yet up?
I got an Instagram. I do got an Instagram. I actually created a Savage 5050 one. It's Nate _ Savage 5050.
I'm gonna have to go look you up. I got one too. I just don't have a lot of people on it.
Yep, and we got Sonia Scrapbook. Hi everyone. Yeah, Sonia Scrapbook. She's actually a big fan of my channel. You could actually follow her on YouTube as well at Sonia Scrapbook on YouTube. She put out a lot of good stuff as well.
I'm gonna have to go look her up. Go look her up and see what we can maybe team up and do a show or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, you ain't wrong. The deal was Putin would pay Ukraine for the pipeline through 2025. The deal was between Germany, Russia, and the U.S., but Ukraine filtered with NATO.
Maybe that explains a couple of things. If Russia thought that Ukraine was gonna mess them up with that pipeline,
right?
But anyway, Nate, we had a couple of other things that happened this week. What you thought about Trudeau ending his emergency act on Canada?
You know what? I think at the end of the day, the people will. I think the trucker protests will definitely be set a precedent for a lot of these world leaders. I think that unfortunately they got such a weak man. They need to figure out a way to remove this guy. But I know they was doing everything possible where they was like, it was truckers out there. They wasn't allowing them to get fuel. They was arresting people. And then they was trying to do what America always do, is use the race card to basically keep the socialist agenda in Canada.
Well, you heard that in the U.S. there's one coming. There's supposed to be one 2 days when President Biden gives his State of the Union. And he's they supposed to have all kind of trucks coming here because I forgot to mention that on the show today, but they're putting up a fence around Washington D.C. And the mainstream media is playing this as a new January 6th.
Well, they're also calling it a white supremacist thing as well.
Who said that?
I know that I believe I heard Nancy Pelosi talking about like how this is like, it's basically racist white people that's trying to, I guess they're trying to prepare for another so-called January 6th type thing, like you were saying.
Everything's raised, bro. They can't. Don't the left know that sometimes it's about policy? It isn't about race all the time. It's they point everything back to racism, man. It's and even this, onto the left, what Canada was doing to the truckers. Some Democrats want that to happen here. They saying if some truckers come here and they want to go ahead and do the job, do what they're doing in Canada, we should go ahead and take their jobs. We should go ahead and take their trucks and sell their trucks and everything like that. Man, we got a constitution you got to follow. I don't know what Canada follows, but we follow the Constitution, man.
Thank God for our founding fathers. Claude said this kind of quality content deserved many more viewers, but I'm glad to be here. Hey, thanks for tuning in. And it's only got hot because I got my man Cajun Conservative here. When I'm by myself, I never get them kind of compliments. So shout out to you, Isaac.
Oh, shout out to you, man. Hey, you put this all together. I'm too busy sometimes, so I'm just saying the truth,
Yeah, we got to try to get more of the guys on. I want to get Scott Ford to come on, but he's always super busy. I told him he got to get StreamYard so he could increase his his viewership, but I don't think he want to do it.
Well, look, hey, we talking about quality and viewers and stuff. Man, if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook and you have a Facebook page, a Twitter page, a Trump media social page, go ahead and share this video. Share Nate's video, share my video on Facebook. Let's get more hits. Let's get more shows.
Yeah,
let's get more viewers.
Share this video. But like I said, I believe that the trucker protest in the end, I think Canada, the leadership will fold and the people will get back to freedom. Think about Canada. I don't even believe right now they're still not allowed to go to places of worship. I think it's still limitations even on that. Like, and that a loved one that died, you can't have more than 5 people go to the funeral. This is so sad and satanic.
Well, this is the thing, though, Nate. The country of Canada, I think, has a 96% vaccination rate. 96%, and there's still the pandemic or the COVID out there. That's just a 96%.
Even if they get 100% vaccinated, this is not about the vaccination.
No,
the whole if you think about the whole C virus, it never was that serious where we even in the United States needed to do the extreme measures that we took. I mean, shout out to the South Dakota governor. What's her name? Something I forget. Her name, but she's like one of the only few governors that we had in this country that was like, look, my people can take care of themselves. We're not shutting down our schools. We're not enforcing no mask mandate. So they was one of the states that actually stayed 100% open and never allowed the communist agenda from China to take place in their state.
And look, I can understand even the beginning stages of it, Nate. I can understand when we didn't know. It is Kristi Noem. That's the South Dakota governor. I can understand from the beginning. I remember when it first happened, we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know how this would react to people or whatnot. I can understand that part, but when we started understanding it a little bit more, we could have just went ahead and dealt with it like that. We didn't have to go ahead and we didn't have to do all this mask mandates and stuff of that. In my opinion of that.
No, we didn't. Sonia Scrapbook said vaccinated cannot leave the country. I think so.
That is Canada.
That's still going on in Canada, right? And even in the United States, there's still certain places, certain countries you still are not allowed to go unless you show proof of vaccination.
Yeah, well, isn't it that you can't come into this country without proof of vaccination?
Yeah. Who knows? But you know what? to bring sports in it, shout out to my man Kyrie Irving, who never bent the knee to the C virus gods. He stood his ground and said, you know what? I'm not getting vaccinated, but they're paying him so much money that they still was like, well, you could at least play some of the away games because, in the New York area, they're still like, you're not even allowed to go to the stadiums, I believe, without being vaccinated or showing some kind of proof of it.
I don't think no more, because he did play in a couple of games in New York.
Yeah.
But New York lifted up a lot of the restrictions as well.
Right, but nevertheless, he stood his ground and he never bent over. He never bent over for the C virus gods.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. He didn't back down. He stayed firm and he did what he needed to do. And look, we need a lot more celebrities like that. A while back we talked about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was pushed for pushing false information, but what we're doing right here, that's all Joe Rogan did. He asked questions and he talked. I don't know everything, sometimes I sound like it, but I don't know everything. Exactly. And Joe Rogan's the same way. Look, Nate, there's some things I learned when we talk together, man, or when we all talk to Scott, or when stuff like that, man. You can't.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is another big name of somebody that actually stood his ground and speak up against all of the tyrannical government that's going on.
Yeah, he's I heard he was thinking about retiring the other day.
I think I seen something that he got re-signed to the Green Bay Packers, so he might. I don't know. Hey, who knows? I hear rumors.
He could have came to New Orleans. We don't have a head coach or a football quarterback right now, but we got a good coach. I got to get Dennis out of the
maybe y'all pick up Kaepernick. I think he's still available.
No, because they're not gonna give him the money. Remember, New Orleans in a cap situation. They don't give him money. They're gonna call racism.
Okay, I see. Sonia Scrapbook said, "Do you see what the head coach of the NBA said? Change their tune." I'm not sure.
I haven't.
What's a head coach of an NBA? A head coach?
Oh, the commissioner.
Oh, the commissioner.
The commissioner. Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm thinking it is.
Claude said, if you're an illegal alien, then Biden remain welcome you with open arms, regardless of your vax status. So
that is true.
Yeah.
all you have to say is, hey, I'm pregnant, and they let you come in or something, which is funny. If you're a United States citizen, you can't come in unless you're vaccinated, and illegal immigrants. Nate, talking about that, though, man, I think it was almost close to 2 million immigrants that came across the border last year.
Oh, was that the number? I mean, who knows? So. It might have been more than that. I'm surprised it's so small.
That's the one. That's the number
I remember when Trump was in office, he estimated it was a caravan of over 20 or 30,000 people marching as they was in the process of basically electing Biden. Once they found out Trump did not win the election, next thing you know, there was caravans marching their way up as soon as they found out, oh, the pro open border policy people are coming in. Okay, time to pack up. We're going right to the United States.
I know I'm bringing up old news, but it's kind of funny that if you can come over to Mexico all you want, but you can't come over from Cuba.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. We're such an accepting country. I mean, try to cross any other country border and then demand some food stamps and demand your abortion and see how well they treat you.
They're gonna put you in prison. Well, and look, this, like I said, old news, but I heard a story a few years ago where they had a guy. He was in Texas, and he was hunting or something like that, and he had a rifle and he had his stuff ready to go. He was a United States citizen, and just so happened he crossed over the border by accident. Man, the Mexican border patrol caught him, put him in jail, confiscated his guns, said he was illegally transporting weapons to cartels and everything, dude. It took a United States senator to call the president and say, look, we need to get this dude out of here. He's an American citizen. And bro, when they got it, I think he was in jail for 6 months. 6 months in jail for crossing by accident. You come over here, you get, like you say, you get food stamp, you get welfare, you get a court date. Show up.
Okay.
They didn't show up. Well, we got to look for him and we don't have time.
Oh yeah, you get free abortion. Also, you get free college, everything because of racism. It's completely ridiculous. I mean, wow, this is so crazy. On another note, when we speak about celebrities, what is your view on this? The brother Kyle Rittenhouse, he's actually going after all of these media networks who slander his name. He's going after LeBron James. He's going after Whoopi Goldberg, who's already suffering problems. I don't even know if she still has a job anymore. But Kyle Rittenhouse is actually standing up and going after everybody who was trying to slander him.
She still got a job. They played it all like she just went on vacation. Don't matter what she said. Don't matter what she did. Hey, she just went on vacation. No, Kyle Rittenhouse, bro. I would say he wouldn't have a case if they would have really reported the news and said, look, if he did this or if he did that. But instead of them saying if, they said he did, and they pointed it as fact. They didn't point it as an opinion either. They were like, look, this dude should go to jail. He's a white supremacist. He murdered all them guys, and it was slander, basically. And they didn't report the truth. Now the media does have the freedom of the press. To be honest with you, Nate, I don't even think this is going to go to court. They're going to settle this out of court. 9 out of 10, though, Kyle Rittenhouse is going to be a very rich man after this. And unfortunately,
he's already a celebrity.
Oh, yeah. Dude, how many times have you been on Tucker? Like 5 times already?
Yeah, I believe so. I want to show a little clip of him talking.
Okay.
Is, after a full year of watching these people lie in order to imprison a kid for the rest of his life, who's going to hold the liars accountable? Kyle Rittenhouse, understandably, has thought a lot about this. He joins us tonight to explain his plan going forward. Kyle, thanks so much for coming on tonight. I can't think of many people who've been at the receiving end of this much sinister lying from so-called news organizations as you have. How are you going to respond?
Well, Tucker, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Me and my team have decided to launch the Media Accountability Project as a tool to help fundraise and hold the media accountable for the lies they said and deal with them in court.
Interesting. So the idea is maybe like the Covington Catholic kids, you will be suing news organizations that maliciously lie about people who are in the news? Is that the plan?
Yes, sir. We're going to be holding them accountable, Tucker.
Do you, I guess I have to ask a kind of a dumb question, but why isn't there a group like this that exists already? Since the media so often are not observers, they're players, they're participants in the news. Why hasn't someone done this before?
That's a good question, Tucker. And I'm not sure, to be honest, but I don't want to see anybody else have to deal with what I went through. So I want to hold them accountable for what they did to me, because I don't want to see anybody have to go through what I went through.
Yeah, they tried to imprison you for the rest of your life. It wasn't coverage, it was advocacy. You have a lot of potential targets to sue yourself. Will you be suing any of these news organizations? And if so, when?
Well, right now we're looking at quite a few politicians, celebrities, athletes. Whoopi Goldberg's on the list. She called me a murderer after I was acquitted by a jury of my peers. She went on to still say that. And there's others. Don't forget about Sank from the Young Turks. He called me a murderer before verdict and continues to call me a murderer.
Interesting. And what about the people who called you groundlessly a white supremacist, which makes it pretty hard to get a job for the rest of your life if you're a white supremacist? Will you be responding to them?
Absolutely. We are going to hold everybody who's lied about me accountable, such as everybody who's lied, called me a white supremacist.
Yeah.
They're all going to be held accountable, and we're going to handle them in a courtroom.
Yow.
Okay, so I remember a couple of months back you was asking me you were saying that you don't see Kyle Rittenhouse as a hero. I do see him as a hero because he's actually a real good symbol of what the United States is supposed to be. We should hold these people accountable who is completely slandering his name, and they're basically like, by them slandering his name, it's not really safe for Kyle Rittenhouse to walk in the streets. He was a symbolization for what the country is supposed to stand for when it comes to the Second Amendment, when it comes to self-defense. I believe Kyle Rittenhouse is a positive symbol for the United States, and that's how I say that he's a hero for me.
Well, as for, you know, when people were calling him a hero, he went ahead and he was standing up, and he was standing up for something that happened to him. He stood up for the Second Amendment and stuff like that. The reason I based that on that was he didn't really do something really great to edify the country. Unfortunately, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, the left called George Floyd a hero.
Right. And unfortunately, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't look at George Floyd as a hero either, in my humble opinion. But on this note, though, I see him standing up for what's right. See, he went ahead and he is fighting the left, because he is correct. After he was acquitted, people were still saying, no, he murdered. He did this. They should throw this out. They should do all. No, so now look at him, to be honest with you. He's using his experience to watch the media, which they should have already had a group doing that. Mm-hmm. But and he ain't the first one to do it. No, the kid that was that they were saying that he was mocking the Native American, and the Native American was banging his drum in front of his face. He got millions from CNN and other news networks that did the same thing that did Kyle Rittenhouse. So I do agree with him on that point. I think we need a group like he's putting together to watch the media. So kudos to him. Now he's starting to be a fighter for freedom. And like I said, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't see him as a hero because he had to defend himself. He did his job. Now I'll look at him more as a hero for what he was going over there for, to protect the shops and to help with medical personnel. That I see him as a hero on.
Well, maybe like, let's say Kyle Rittenhouse may not be the hero, but I would say the symbol that Kyle Rittenhouse is showing the United States.
The image of him standing up for his freedom and defending himself, that you could say he's a hero on.
Right.
But as for him standing up, or people trying to put, look, this is an American hero, he was at a wrong place at a wrong time. And unfortunately, he had to defend himself. So, on that point, look, because Nate, this is how I look at it. Two souls went into eternity, heaven or hell. I don't know where they stood with God, but at the same, this was a incident that should have never. And look, it shouldn't have never happened, because this was all around the George Floyd era. And if you want to look at the media pumped up George Floyd's death. They pumped up all this stuff of racism. They pumped up all this stuff. So they caused the Winoka fires and all that. So on that point, yeah, he was a hero trying to stop the violence, but at the same time, for him taking another person's life, was he right to defend himself? Absolutely, under the Second Amendment. That's why he was acquitted.
Right. You know what Sonia Scrapbook talking about when she said the Covenant kid?
Yeah, that's that. I couldn't remember the name. I couldn't remember, but that was the one.
You ain't wrong. Said that guy's not native.
Well, no, not the young guy, but the guy that was pounding the drum in his face. He was supposedly supposed to be Native American. So I don't. That's what I heard. That story's old. That's been 2 years since that happened.
Yeah, but it's relevant. It's relevant because he also went after the media, and I believe they settled out of court as well.
Yeah, I don't know how much he got, but that boy's rich today. And he even contacted Kyle Rittenhouse and said, "I will show you what I did, so you can get money." So yeah, I think CNN should be held accountable. I think Whoopi should be held accountable. But unfortunately, this is what's going to happen. They're going to settle out of court, and just like the coveting kid, they're not going to.
I would really like to see LeBron James have to pay a little bit of a settlement to Kyle Rittenhouse.
And look, it's not that. This is what I think about. Okay, you can have your opinion, Nate. We go on podcasting, or we go on YouTube, Facebook Live, whatnot, and we give our opinion. And we look at all the evidence. You can't just go on the air and say, look at one initial video without hearing no evidence and say, well, he shot him, and this will happen. He was at a Black Lives rally or Black Lives Matter rally. He's racist. He's a homophobe, and he killed him on purpose. And they didn't have no weapons. They weren't trying. He just bang, 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 and that was it. He's done. That wasn't true, and they reported that as fact. They didn't report that, hey, he allegedly shot these guys or whatever. They didn't look at no police reports. It was, hey, he's at a Black Lives Matter rally, and he was racist, so he just started shooting, and that's what they say.
It was complete slander. I mean, they didn't give that boy a fair shot
Absolutely.
at all.
Well, even that they thought the media was influencing the jury, or trying to.
Do you blame Kyle Rittenhouse for actually basically he's making a career out of this, a great career?
I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
hey,
I mean,
hey, like I said, it was an unfortunate incident, Nate. But wouldn't you? You get what I'm saying?
Hey,
You're like, well, they did you wrong. Yeah,
I don't knock the hustle. I mean, hey, they did it to him. I mean, and a lot of people were saying that them was fake tears when he got, when the jury found him not guilty. He broke down crying emotionally. I think he was completely sincere. I mean, this was a 17-year-old boy at the time. I believe he was 18 years old when he beat the case. But if you're that young and they're talking about basically throwing your life away, now, I believe if Kyle Rittenhouse would have been found guilty, I think he would have did over 25 years.
Well, and possibly more. Remember, it was 3 homicides that they were trying to.
It could have been life without parole.
Yeah, but what about the lady that thought she grabbed her taser and shot that guy in the car? Didn't she get like 25 to 30 years? That was one person. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, I believe it. Sonia Scrapbook said people still think he killed black people. Some of the people on the left, they still think.
Well, on that note, when I first heard of the Kyle Rittenhouse case, I thought that's what happened too. I'm not gonna lie. I had to start researching. I'm researching like, wait a minute, it wasn't even black people he shot.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what they were saying. I think that's what the narrative is. That was definitely the narrative for a while.
And look, everything's built around racism. That's why they tried doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is like one of the reasons I started my whole YouTube channel to debunk a lot of these phony so-called hate crimes or whatever, because I think I heard on the news they was labeling this, what Kyle Rittenhouse did, as a hate crime, so it was completely slander.
They were trying, and like I said, it was
imagine if Kyle Rittenhouse was if he would have been black and the 3 perpetrators would have been 3 white MAGA wearing hat guys, and Kyle Rittenhouse had a Black Lives Matter shirt on and he was black. Imagine how different the narrative would be.
Well, it would have been he's justified. He's fighting against racism. We seen that in Texas. That guy that went in that school, and because of the color of his skin, nobody tried to report on the story. So,
I mean, when you think about it, the guy that shot Ashley Babbitt, he was considered a hero. He got sainthood for killing an unarmed 100-pound, 5-foot-tall white woman at the Capitol, and he was a black man.
Like I said, though, everything's driven by race. You get, and that's how the left does. Let's use this week with Ukraine. Everything looking bad for Biden. Biden all of a sudden on Friday says, "Hey, I'm going to nominate my black woman Supreme Court nominee to to throw everything off. And for a while, that's all the media was talking about. Oh, how historical this is. A president has nominated the first black woman to the Supreme Court. And come to find out, she's so left outfield, she's out to the parking lot left field.
Yeah, it's man, and people are so brainwashed to just go along with whatever. You know, people have no brain of their own. They have no brain. They can't think for themselves, but they, like I said, they'll think that somebody like me, I'm just basically a cooning for the white man, and I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't do enough research, but I'm actually somebody that is actually doing research on what's really going on in the world.
So have you ever been, because I have, I don't think you're conservative, I know you probably have you ever got someone come up to you and say you're brainwashed, all you're doing is listening to Fox News, and at the time Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, the Daily Wire and everything, and I'm like, well, what do you watch? Oh, I watch CNN. That's the only thing. Yeah, that's all that straight news. I'm like, who's brainwashed?
Oh yeah, they watch CNN and they listen to a lot of these so-called woke comedians and these far leftist people, these leftist celebrities. They're pretty much brainwashed by what the mainstream media / Hollywood tells them to believe.
Yeah, it's sad because look, man, even on the spiritual level, I even got on that one time when, and them use that example, you have a lot of atheists come up to me and be like, well, you know, God ain't real and all you being brainwashed by the Bible. I'm like, really? Where did you learn your knowledge? Oh, from the science book. So we both picked up our knowledge from a book. And that's basically what the left and the right does. I know some people, hey, Fox News is gospel, and the other side, CNN's gospel.
Yeah.
And don't question it. Hey, that's it.
Sonia Scrapbook said, in general, the news puts out a false story and they know it. They don't care. By the time it's revealed by the same other sources, it was incorrect. They don't correct it. So yeah, Sonia's right. They don't even retract on the false narrative that they originally put out once they find out it's true. Sonia Scrapbook is right.
Sometimes. The reason I say that is because they will retract, but it's like she said, so far down the line, and the story, they just go ahead and edit that original story. Nate, are you looking like, look, if you're like me, I keep notes of stories like crazy. Don't you ever go back and like, oh, they updated that news story? Like tonight, all my notes for this week's show is probably going to be deleted, and I'm fresh enough for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I mean, I check for it all the time, but you know, different medias have different narratives, and look, I'm gonna call it right now. It's midterms coming up towards this end of the year. I guarantee you, we're going to see another George Floyd incident or something of that extent, because BLM is going to have to poke their head in order to save Joe Biden presidency.
Well, I don't even know. I don't even think that. I think they're going to cool that down a little bit. The reason I'm saying that is if they come out and say, if they come out with another George Floyd incident or something, and is the defund the police comes back, they're going to lose more voters. I don't know how they can lose any more voters than what they're doing now, but I just, you know, because look at it like this.
When he said, aside from Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity, Fox News is too liberal for me.
You got Jesse Waters now. That's on prime time. He's pretty good. Back in the day, and I know him way back in the day, Megyn Kelly, when she first started, was very conservative. She got more leftist as she got along.
She regrets it now.
You got Dan Bongino on Fox News. You got Todd Gurley, not Todd Gurley. Yeah, I think it's Todd Gurley. The former congressman. He's on the weekend.
The five is pretty conservative.
Now, to be honest with you, though, you're talking about their television side. Their app has a lot of conservative articles on it. I pull a lot of my articles from Fox News, and I find a lot of good conservative conservatives are writing on there. Unfortunately, a lot of their stories don't get on TV. It's the same thing with
Well, a lot of conservatives. I would recommend a lot of upcoming conservative network would be the Daily Wire. I think that every conservative need to go out and support the Daily Wire because they report a lot of conservative things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they also got the Amazon #1 LGBT writer on there, Matt Walsh.
Yeah, yeah, Matt Walsh. Yeah, he's shout out to Matt Walsh. He's really good.
Now, I do want to say this too. You're talking about alternate medias. The Blaze is a good. I don't use them as much. I wish they would make a news app. You have to. Sometime I got their. I'm subscribed to their email list, and I get some good stories out of that. But I really wish they had an app just to go look at the news.
Yeah, I follow Jason Whitlock. I'm subscribed to his YouTube channel. He's pretty good.
Jason Whitlock, man, that dude's a phenomenous sports analysis, but a great conservative as well.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Jesse Waters, Don Bongino, Janine, and Mark Levine.
Mark, I look. Hey, on that note, hold on a second. Mark, I got your book. I'm still reading it, but I got this is a good book. If you want to know what's going on in America, get Mark Levine's American Marxism. I'm giving him some free publicity.
Yeah, speaking of what's going on in America, on the panel I had yesterday, I covered this story already. I wanted to share these images with you about what's going on in Seattle, Washington right now. And let me know what you think, because I know that you're a straight white Christian conservative man.
Don't say that out too loud. I need to get some more followers.
So they pretty much are letting these young ladies sell themselves on a corner without being harassed by the police.
Well, does Seattle don't have that big of a police force right now because of defund the police?
Defund the police, and on top of defunding the police, they're laying police officers off for not being vaccinated.
Wow. Hey, where's that on CNN?
They're not really covering this story, and I think this is a big deal. And this is Seattle, but this is happening all around the country in a lot of these cities.
Oh, Nate, that's why we have alternate media like us.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're just pretty much out here just doing whatever they want to do. I mean, it's women that's standing outside of the Wendy's and the Papa John's or whatever. They're just out here allowing it to go down. Anyway, and it's all over the city. They're not doing anything about it.
But wasn't Seattle the big push for defund the police and all that good stuff a while back?
Oh, that's where the Summer of Love took place, right?
Yeah. Hey, you know what's sad though, man? Hey, it's kind of funny. All these big cities that were calling for defund the police are now saying, "Oh, crime's rising." No, duh. Tell the sheriff to take a hike, man. The criminals are gonna come in.
I mean, speaking of like what's going on in Seattle, and on top of that, I mean, Joe Biden basically handing out free crack pipes. None of that stuff helps.
You better watch out. You're gonna get flagged for that, man.
Yeah, it's like okay, well, and in California, they already been doing it where they're giving out clean heroin needles and letting people to shoot up left and right. And, they actually set up stations for people to actually get high in,
Well, how does Isaiah said that, Nate? They're gonna call good evil and evil good, and I think we're at that point in America. Man, we need
we are
Jesus,
at that
man.
point.
We need Jesus, man. But
Yeah.
man, we've been talking for an hour already.
Yeah.
We need to do this more often.
Yeah, we got to get together more often. We definitely do. I mean, I would definitely want to get together, me, you, Scott, whenever we can get him to come around.
Oh, on a note with Scott and everything, did you see on Brothers Just Searching? We answered your question. I saw you commented on it.
Oh yeah, I seen that. I definitely seen that. That was pretty good. So Christians can eat, lobster, shrimp, pork, all that other stuff. Yo, you know what? Give a quick, brief summary on why is okay. Why does the Bible say that is okay, and people maybe misreading it because they're going over what they're saying in Leviticus, and you were saying that Jesus died for our sins, so now they kind of made it okay. Give a brief summary real quick.
Yeah, Leviticus 11 says that we supposed to not eat anything that split the hoof, or we could eat something that split the hoof and chew the cod. But if one doesn't chew the cod and have a split hoof, you can't eat it. So main one is pork. A lot of people, I think pigs have a split hoof, but they don't chew the cod. A pig is a messy creature, man. He eats anything and everything that comes down the pipe. That's why they give them slop. Also, the Bible mentioned fishes without scales. You couldn't eat that, which means
you can't eat
you can't eat a shrimp. You can't eat a crawfish. You couldn't eat a lobster. So a lot of Christians read that and they say, well, does that mean we can't eat pork or eat fish without scales or anything? And the answer is yes, you can eat that. The purpose being is because Jesus came to fulfill the law. He didn't get away with the law, but he fulfilled it, basically saying that he done away with it. Now you have some scriptures. A lot of people don't use that for this fact, but the church fathers in the book of Acts said, hey, look, you can eat basically anything as long as it wasn't strangled or it has blood in it, or if it as long as the blood or it wasn't sacrificed to idols, basically. And Paul says that, look, we can eat basically what we want. We're giving it glory to God. If you don't want to eat that stuff, that's perfectly fine too. You have Christian liberty. You can eat. You can do whatever you want. And it goes down to law. If you want to stay with law, you can go ahead and do the sacrificial diets and all that, but you can't go to the temple and sacrifice because Jesus fulfilled that. A lot of people say, well, that's a sacramental part of it. Same thing with the fish, but the Bible says it's okay for you to eat your pork. You can eat your shellfish. You can eat anything like that. Jesus said it's okay.
Okay, so there you have it. I wanted to ask you a quick question. All right. Of course, this is like a brothers just searching type question, right?
Okay.
What your brief summary? What is your opinion on the Catholics with the whole like papacy with the Pope and everything like that?
Well, if you go into history, they say the Pope is the descendants of Peter or the apostles. Well, no, that's the priest. The Pope is supposed to be be Christ on earth, and I think he's supposed to be descended from Peter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the high priest. First off, the priesthood has gone away with. Jesus Christ died. Hebrews 10, I think it is, says that Jesus is our high priest. He's the only high priest we need. He's the one that paid the sacrifice. Remember, Jesus Christ was the sacrifice on the cross for the people of our sin. That's what the sacrifice was representing. And Jesus is our high priest. He sits on the right hand of the Father, and he's the priest for all of us today. So the priesthood and the Pope seat is not relevant because the priesthood is gone with. Also, on that side with the priest, everybody calls a priest father. Every time I see a priest, I do not call him father. I call him sir or call them by name, and they look at me weird. But I say, well, Jesus said that you should not call any man father, and that was like a spiritual sense, except the Father in heaven. That's what Jesus was saying. So no, the Pope is not the rightful leadership of the church. Really, there ain't no one person that's in leader of the church except one, and that is Jesus Christ. And when people say that the Pope is Jesus Christ in the flesh, I have trouble with that.
The Pope is committing blasphemy.
Oh yeah, all the way around. I have a good friend that's a Catholic, and he came out and told me the other day that he was very troubled with this Pope, and I haven't talked to him in a while. I might have to get back.
The Pope is like extremely liberal now.
Oh yeah, well, I think he said something about homosexuality and abortion in the Catholic Church. A lot of the people in the Catholic Church really, really got upset at that.
Right.
I look at him as a false teacher, false preacher. I'll put him up there with Kenneth Copeland and Jesse Duplantis and other Word of Faith ministers that are preaching false gospels.
Any man that claims to be Christ on earth, and any man that claim they can forgive sin, is committing blasphemy.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what the papacy is.
And that's what I say. Like, look, all my friends that are Roman Catholics out there, I love y'all. I don't condemn y'all. I just
well here's the funny thing, because I got friends that's like Catholic as well, and what they will say is, Christianity and Catholic is the same thing, and I'm just like, no, it's not.
Roman Catholicism came almost 300-400 years after the Bible believing church.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Catholic Church is full of error. One is the confession box. A lot of people go to a confession box and confess to a priest, where Jesus said, "I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No man go to the Father except through me." The Catholic Church teaches you got to go to the priest, who he goes and does a special mass or prayer, which he can pray to Mary. Mary goes to Jesus. Jesus goes to God. I got one contact. That is Jesus Christ. I trust Jesus Christ. He's the Lord of my life. He's the Savior of the world. I say, Lord Jesus, I pray this in your name. Can you bring this to the Father? He brings it to the Father, and it's answered. So there's a lot of false teachings. Now, on that note, it's not on YouTube. But if you want to listen to it, we on Spotify, Apple, and Google, and many other platforms. Go check out our podcast, Is Roman Catholicism a False Religion? And we break that down into 4 parts.
Yeah. Hey, that's the thing. So anyway, before we get out of here, shout out everything that you got going on and how people can find you or subscribe to you or whatever the case may be.
Well, I guess I can give a little bit of background. As y'all know, I'm a podcaster. I've been podcasting for 2 years, almost 2.5 years now. Cajun Conservative is about to be a year and a half. Brothers Searching 2.5 years. We just got on YouTube, so you can check us out on YouTube. Brothers Just Searching podcast. Also find us on Apple, Google, and Spotify. You can also find the Cajun Conservative on Rumble. Me and Scott's on Rumble now. So people ask me why I don't go on YouTube. If you listen to the things I said tonight, you possibly know why, and I was holding back. But you can find us on Rumble. You can find me on Apple, Google, Spotify, and many other platforms. You can find all the platforms on our website, brothersjustsearching.wordpress.com. Also, you can find us at the Cajun Conservative Show.wordpress.com. Nate, if you don't mind, I want to tell your listeners, if you want to support us by wearing some of our shirts or drinking some coffee or something out of mugs or tumblers, anything, in Google. Now you got to go to the bar on the top. You can't go through the search bar on Google. Go to the address bar on top. Type in the BJS Media Store altogether.com. It's going to take us to our media store. We got some shirts with Brothers Just Searching, Cajun Conservative, some tumblers. I believe we got a few hats on there. We got a few other things, got some blankets. Go check us out.
Awesome. So
now, Nate, I forgot, we're also live on the Cajun Conservatives Facebook page. So go ahead and hit that screen onto you by yourself and tell us where they can find you.
All right. I'm pretty easy to find. Go to YouTube, Savage 5050, Savage 5050. I'm right there. I talk about everything me and Isaac talked about today on there, and I talk about a lot of racial issues. I debunk it. I make sure I remind everybody that racism really doesn't play a major factor in the United States, so don't allow it to hold you back. And I talk a little bit of politics, so hopefully people subscribe to my channel. I hope everybody hit that like button on this video as well.
Same here on the Cajun Conservative, guys. Go ahead and hit the like button, hit the share button with your friends. Let's get this podcast, let's get this Facebook page going. Nate, we're close to getting to 900 likes. We need people to hit that like button. Same thing with the subscribe button. Let's get him back to 800. Let's get back to what YouTube stole him.
I know, definitely, guys. I'm help me get at least to 600 subscribers. I'm getting real close. Like Claude said earlier, man, we deserve more. This is the type of media we got to spread, especially as conservative people. Anyway, I'm gonna end the broadcast. Isaac, hang with me. Everybody, peace. Thanks for tuning in.
All right.